Good evening, everyone. I welcome all of you to a most happening topic for the day. In fact, we all are a part of this, and we all are getting affected either in a positive or whatever way I will not say. But today we are discussing a very important topic on notice under section 131, recording of statement, practical issues, panel discussion on demonetization and how to handle issues related to penny stock, cash trail and commodity transactions. But before even we start that, let's please rise up for the motto of the institute.
येष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति येष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमानः निर्विमानः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तनूनात्यपि कश्चनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Be seated. I request our speaker for the day, Ramesh Bhaiya, to please come up on the dais. I request my council member Nitesh Mo to please come up on the dais. यहाँ जाइए ना, यहाँ पर आइए. Friends, just from EIRC perspective, I just wanted to share things that we had been given a notification very recently that our publication counter is also getting cashless. So we are using the swipe machines and all the selling counters, all the publications which we are going to issue is going to get swiped. So the effect is coming up in a very bigger way. Before we start the session, let me introduce Ramesh Bhaiya to all of you. Ramesh Patodia was born in Calcutta in the year 1964 and graduated from St. Xavier's College, Calcutta in the year 1985 and qualified as a chartered accountant in the year 1986. Immediately after qualifying, he began practicing as a chartered accountant with a firm named RKRR and Associates Chartered Accountants. He was enrolled as a fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India in the year 1991. He has been in continuous practice as a chartered accountant in Calcutta for the last 28 years and has been practicing mainly in the field of direct taxation, FEMA and service tax. He advises several multinational corporate clients and has traveled extensively both in India and abroad in connection with his professional practice. He regularly delivers lectures at various professional forums and has also written several articles for the journals published by the professional organization. He has also written 2 books titled Incentive for Power, Telecom and Infrastructure, a commentary on Section 80I of the Income Tax Act 1961, and a commentary on Hindu undivided family. He is also very actively involved in various charitable organizations. He is a very busy person, like we have seen him being deliberating in all different study circle branches and regional council. Thank you so much, Bhaiya, to join us. And I request Prem Agarwal to please come forward and offer yes, Bhaiya, please come forward and offer a bouquet as a token of respect. Thank you so much. And we discussed that it will be a very interactive topic, and we have also requested Ramesh Bhaiya to please deal with all the questions which comes up. Thank you so much, and the stage is yours, sir.
Good evening, friends. When we were sitting upstairs and gossiping with Nilesh ji and my good friend Sanjeev, he told me that you are wearing a handsome dress, full black. So I told him that
No, I
I'm
say
going
it's
to
a nice
discuss.
combination,
I'm going to
actually.
discuss Black Bunny. And incidentally, I could notice that he is wearing a white.
So there's a great transformation in between.
But don't think that I represent Black Bunny and he represents White Bunny.
Right. We both are the same side.
So, friends, this black money, white money, since 8th of November, I think the entire country, or if not exaggerated, the entire world, so to say, is thinking what will happen. I think other countries are looking up to this as an whether they can also do anything of this kind, and only time will tell that whether other countries adopt the wisdom of our honorable Prime Minister. Though there are examples of several other smaller countries having done demonetization in the past. I think there is one country, Zimbabwe, where I was just looking, a Zimbabwe $1 trillion bill comes for $1 US. $1 trillion Zimbabwean currency is equal to $1 US. That is the kind of depreciation that Zimbabwean currency suffered, and thereafter they went into demonetization. You can find it in Google, friends. So demonetization is basically what I'll be covering, friends, all the aspects including the taxation, this amendment bill which recently came. Demonetization is not new to this country. It has been attempted twice earlier. Once in the year 1946 and again in the year 1978. I had prepared a 10-page presentation. I would request all of you to kindly get that from EIRC.
Sure.
Nilesh, please
we will
provide.
upload in the website.
That will be uploaded. So you can go through that. In that presentation you will find most of the judgments which I will be discussing here covered in that presentation, friends. So this demonetization, as I was telling, 1946 is the first year in which, before the independence, when the country was governed by Britishers, demonetization was first attempted. When 10,000 rupee notes were demonetized on 12th of January 1946 after the World War II, friends. And at that time, out of a total of 143 crores of currency at that time, about 134 crores were exchanged, and 9 crores worth of rupees at that point of time in 1946 was the currency which was, say, destroyed, which did not come to the RBI for exchange. And 9 crores in 1946, I think, is in today's terms must be a handsome amount. Thereafter, again in 1978, the demonetization was again attempted by Morarji Desai government. When on 16th of January 1978, the government demonetized notes worth rupees 10,000, 5,000 and 1,000 notes were demonetized. And people were given 3 days time to surrender their notes. As against 50 days that Honorable Prime Minister has given now, at that time 3 days were only given to surrender the notes. And thereafter, as has been done now, that you can go to RBI after 30th of December for exchanging your notes up to 31st of March. That window was also there at that time also. a question arises, why only 3 days time was given at that time? Friends, the reason was that at that time it was not so technologically advanced, and the transfer of money from one person to another person, and because all the things were manually kept, it's not like today's when you deposit the money today here, it gets recorded in the North Block that you have deposited this much of money. They have the data. The other speaker will deal with FIU, Financial Intelligence Unit, which North Block has. They will capture the data. That kind of capturing of data, of course, were not there in the year 1978. So 3 days time was only given, so that it is not possible for one person to give the money to another person, so that he surrenders and takes the exchange money. That was the primary reason for giving such a shorter period of time during that demonetization. Now, we have the experience of 2 demonetization already, and we are now coming to the 3rd demonetization. The stated objectives in the earlier 2 demonetization also, I would read a little. It was also to curb black money at that point of time also in 1978. So obviously lot of people, when you talk to professionals, to economists, to politicians, you find there is a division of views. Somebody says it's good, somebody says it's bad, somebody says how it will eradicate black money, it will come again. So these are the questions for which I don't think that there is any definite answer. There are pros and cons, and obviously one is tempted to come to a conclusion that after the 1946 and 1978 demonetization, when you are again attempting the same exercise now in the year 2016, then one would be tempted to say that the black money cannot be eradicated. It will come back again. Though the period may be that 1978 to 2016, if it is 38 years, so maybe the next demonetization, if it happens, somebody was saying in the month of January 2000 rupee notes will also be demonetized. The gossips are unending. WhatsApp is full of messages. You get a message that 1 week collection of Amir Khan's movie 70 crore, Salman Khan's Sultan 100 crores, and 1 week collection of Narendra Modi 5 lakh crores. So gossips keep on coming, friends, and only time will tell that what this demonetization will, whether it will be effective in achieving the objectives which the scheme seeks to achieve. Now friends, why this demonetization? Why Honorable Prime Minister attempted to do this? When you look into it, you will find, I did little research in this, and you see India is 76th corrupt country in the world. There is a corruption index which is calculated by an entity which is called this, I think, Trans International is an organization which creates transparency. Exactly, Transparency International has an index of corrupted countries, and India is 76th. And at the bottom of that index, 168 countries are rated in that index. 168th number goes to North Korea and Somalia. These are the most corrupt countries in the world, and we should be, I think, happy that India has improved by 24 points over last few years, and still a long way to go. So we want to come to higher places, say 1 to 10, where the countries like UK, USA, Sweden, all these countries are in 1 to 10. And friends, that Transparency International has another website called maskthecorrupt.org, where they have listed 9 entities as the corrupt persons or corrupt entities of the world. And you will find that one of the entry in that is FIFA. FIFA, as you must be knowing, is a football organization. So FIFA is listed as one of the most corrupt, perceived to be corrupt. So all these things, friends, one of the objectives is, of course, to improve the ranking of India in the corruption index. Then there are regions, as Prime Minister has already stated, that to fight the terrorism, to fight the menace of fake currency, to fight the menace of black money. All these are stated objectives, friends, for doing this demonetization. And whether we will be able to achieve this, once the scheme was announced on 8th of November, around 8 p.m. I think, to be 8 p.m. or here and there, the entire country was taken as a bolt from the blue. And everybody started, all of a sudden, I think 500 and 1000 rupee notes became untouchable. And I think most affected out of demonetization would be the housewives, because all their savings which they had accumulated over the years, my wife, she had 2,30,000 only.
That is in cash.
That is in cash, because I do mostly in white. So this is the example of every lady of this country, because we are saving spoon. We are not like America, because in America you will find that whatever their pay is, they will spend entire amount and they will be in minus. You will find that a clerk also coming to his workplace in a Mercedes. That is normal in America. Credit cards, so a person having 10, 20 credit cards, and he'll spend, it doesn't worry, because you see, one of the reason I find is that they don't have social security problems, which we have. Because in America, even if a person is unemployed, he gets, I believe, $1,500 a month. I have been told that a lot of Indians who have gone to America for working, and suppose if they don't have a job for a few period, they will register as unemployed and they will get $1,500. And Indians know how to manage in America for $1,500. They will save at least $500 out of that $1,500, because this is our Indian way of, because Indian mentality is to save. We will, if you earn 10,000, we will save at least 5,000, I think. And I can say for Bengal that every Bengali, I can vouch for every Bengali, even my peon who earns 5,000 rupees a month, he can say that I am a house owner. He has a house of his own. Because this shows that we are savings oriented. And so every housewife saving had to be declared forcefully. Because she doesn't know that what to do. She will ask her brother first, not me. Her brother first, can you do something? So he will say, I am already full. So then she will say, okay. Then my husband is a chartered accountant. I hear him advising since 8th of November, and that how to do this, how to handle. So I will then give him only. But I will take a promise that he will return me the money again. So this is, friends, I think the question which entire country is asking. All the housewives are asking, what will happen to my money? And the confusion created by this 2,50,000. Everybody, suddenly, everybody has at least 2,50,000 with him. All the Jan Dhan accounts, they have now At least you will find bank balances all matching 2,50,000. If the honorable finance minister would have said that it is 5 lakhs, so every Jan Dhan account would have 5 lakhs. I am reminded of a case, friends. It's the Supreme Court case of Sumati Dayal. Sumati Dayal versus CIT. It's a Supreme Court case. You can note down. It's a very good judgment. It's on human probabilities. That now, since all of you and even myself is asking a question that what would happen, though to some extent this taxation laws bill has set at rest some controversy, but still there are a lot of controversies which we will be dealing now. Sumati Dayal's case was dealing with a case where what happened, that particular lady, she was winning horse races not only in Hyderabad but Hyderabad, Bangalore, Madras, everywhere she was winning jackpot. And the question, because why she was winning? Because income from horse races was exempt from tax. So she was winning, and the matter went up to Supreme Court, and it was a 2-1. One of the judge, the chairman of the settlement commission decided in favor, but the Supreme Court ultimately held that no, you have to go by the human probabilities, that whether the winning was actual or the tickets were purchased after they won. What are the factors which weighed in the mind of Supreme Court is that there were no expenses which were shown for the purchase of tickets of race. When you are preparing your profit and loss account, you are crediting your profit and loss account with 1 crore as winning from horse races, but there is no debit on account of purchase of tickets. That is one of the factors. Then one of the most astonishing things in Supreme Court, I think, is a human probability. Of course, Supreme Court, I think, were right that from 1472, the horse races were made taxable. And from that date onwards, the lady lost interest in horse racing. So it was obvious that no, if a person is so mastermind that he wins 3 jackpots in a week across Bombay, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and all of a sudden from 1472 he stops playing horse races, then obviously the question of human probability is something which can be brought into the law. Even if there is no law, the law can be brought in like this, that it is something which is not probability, and therefore on that basis it was held that no, it's not a genuine, it is all doctored thing. So friends, what I am trying to say, when in demonetization also things are happening like this, a person day in and out, we chartered accountants from 8th of November evening even till today, people expect us to give all the advice over phone. Whatever permutations and combinations, if I do this, then what will happen? If I don't do this, then what? Should I deposit entire money at a time? Or should I deposit within 49,000 so that my PAN number is not captured? Because they have said that if 49,000 is less than 49,000, then your PAN number not required. And within 2,50,000, your PAN number not required. So if it is within 49, so should I deposit at once, or should I do it in a staggered manner? I will give an explanation that there was a long queue, so I could not. There was a risk of money. If I carry 1 crore at a time to the bank, there will be a risk of money getting looted, obviously. All this. So what I am trying to say, friends, is that here you have to go by this human probabilities example to decide. I will give you few 5-6 matters which are being which are floating around. One of course is this question of declaring the cash which one has. Chairman EIRC, we recognize his presence. Thank you, sir. So, these 4 or 5 things which are floating around we'll discuss. Before that, I think all of you must be aware about the basic provisions, basic things regarding demonetization, the day-to-day changes. And in fact, I think the changes are becoming fast and furious, so to say. In fact, today one circular of RBI was floating around on WhatsApp, circular number 166, so to say, which says that if you want to deposit cash in your bank, then you have to get it certified, the balance, that it is out of your balance up to 8th of November, and that certificate has to be obtained by from a chartered accountant. I don't know whether it was a...
And also attested by the income tax officer.
Attested by income tax officer. And we found out, friend, we rang RBI Mumbai this afternoon, and RBI Mumbai confirmed that no, this is nothing, this is a fake, that they confirmed over phone to us, to RBI personally. So, all these things day to day going on, changes are being done. So we need not discuss those changes. I think you can very well have it on, there are RBI website, most of these things are reported. RBI.org.in has a frequently asked questionnaire which is updated regularly. The last update came on 28th of November where all the questions are answered. So what we will do, friends, we will discuss the major things. First question, of course, is regarding the housewife savings. What happens to that? That is a very pertinent question. And here, friends, there is a judgment of Supreme Court, 49 ITR page 130. This judgment is, the name is Bai Bail Bai. This is the name of a lady, Bai Bail Bai versus CIT. And this judgment, friends, dealt with the demonetization case of 1946. You can imagine that in the year 1946, this lady exchanged rupees 2,46,000. I think the finance minister got cue from there only. That 2,50,000 was set in 2016. But you can imagine 2,46,000 in 1946. I think it must be, in my opinion, you must make it 1,000 times.
Yes, yes.
2,46,000 into 1,000 must be the multiplier. Because in one of my client's case, a land which was acquired in the year 1975 for 1 crore was sold 3 years ago for 100 crores. I know that is a real transaction. So that kind of appreciation has been done. So in 1946, friends, this lady surrendered 2,46,000 worth of rupees in the demonetization, and this was explained to be out of her savings. And of course, the assessing officer, how he can allow 2,46,000 to be the savings, and the matter went up to Supreme Court, friends. Supreme Court deliberated this. Of course, the lady explained that, look, this is the source of my savings. She was a wealthy lady, of course, 2,46,000 in 1946. It can't be a Raj Kapoor of Sri 420. So, she explained everything. And Supreme Court referred to one judgment of Sri Meenakshi Mills Limited versus CIT in 31 ITR 28. That's a very good judgment, friends, where one particular 2 lines I will read, where in that judgment, Sri Meenakshi Mills judgment, Supreme Court observed that a finding of fact doesn't alter its character as one of fact merely because it is itself an inference from other basic facts. But a finding on a question of fact is open to attack under section 66 as erroneous in law when there is no evidence to support it, or if it is perverse or has been reached without due consideration of several matters relevant for such determination. So Supreme Court says that a finding of fact cannot alter its character merely because it is an inference from other basic facts. That weighed in the minds of Supreme Court, because that lady had explained that look, this was the way I earned this money in last so many years, and ultimately, friends, Supreme Court held that it was her out of her past savings in that year. So now the question, of course, everyone, including myself, would be asking that suppose if a housewife, say in my own wife's case, where actually I have deposited 2,30,000 in the bank account, which was her savings, which had nothing to do with the income tax returns which I am filing. She doesn't even, maybe this may be most of the housewife's case, because under the Indian way of doing things, though now ladies are also coming up equally, but I think most of these financial matters are being looked upon by the male member of the society, and she doesn't even know that what is the return that I am filing, what is my cash balance, what is my bank balance. This is I think, what do you think? Am I correct in saying that this is the general situation? So this is the general situation, friends. And when she has this money, it's not that she has earned this money in one day. I know that it is the money which she has accumulated over say last maybe 25-30 years. Even before my marriage, she was given the money which she had by her parents. At the time of her marriage also she received some money, and by way of savings, because I know basically.
Can you convince the income tax department by giving this logic that she has been saving all these monies in his drawers or almirah?
Exactly. This is what I want to say.
In current days, where people would be having multiple bank accounts, then a lady who has been saving those money since last 25 years, she is keeping this in her almirah or drawer.
Exactly.
This is something which would be not.
This is of course a debatable question, but what I am trying to say, friends, that 2 lakh in today's terms is not that a big money, which one can say that why you are keeping this money in your locker or in your almirah, why you are not keeping this money in your bank account.
Up to 2,50,000, no point.
No, even up to 2,50,000, sir, this question is being raised, that suppose if there is already an SSC who is regularly filing the return of income, and in that case, whether this household savings, which is a genuine saving of that particular lady, whether that money, if it is deposited, is it chargeable to income tax, or it is directly to be taken as a capital receipt. This is the question, which is a very pertinent question in my opinion, and I am personally of the opinion, this is my personal opinion, there will be difference of course, that you see, here I would say that Supreme Court's case of Sumati Dayal will come into picture. Human probabilities. You see, what my wife is saying is not alone to my wife. This is thousands or lakhs of wives across the country would be saying the same thing. So if anything is concocted at my level, maybe I can concoct the story, but you cannot say that the entire country is concocting the same story. You cannot say that, because you see, our society, most of us, we have festivals throughout the year, and there are in the festivals, today also I am going, from here I will be going to a marriage ceremony, friends, and I am carrying an envelope of 2,100 rupees in my pocket, which I will be giving to the bride. Is it not the fact of life? Bhai phota, don't you give money to your sister? Tell me, friends, am I wrong? When Jamai 60, don't you give money to your Jamai?
We actually take money.
Oh, it take money. So this give and take continues, friends, And even by a modest estimate, say my wife has accumulated this saving over last 30 years, and it comes to what? Hardly 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 a year. Can I not say that this is her past saving, which she has accumulated over last 30 years on these different occasions, which was not even known to me, and I was filing her return of income. It was not even known to me.
And all are in 500 and 1000 currency.
All are in five. In fact, all are in 500 and 1000. For that also, I will give you the reason, friends. There are cases of this also. There are case laws that you have this much of money and all are in 500 rupees, 1000 rupees. You don't have in smaller denomination. Friends, there the courts have said that out of convenience, one can very well keep high denomination notes. Out of convenience.
It's a space constraint. Because
Space constraint.
She has been created in Almira.
Obviously, not even space constraint. Obviously, if it is in 100 rupee notes, I will, once I open the Almira, I will notice the money.
Sir, everybody agrees 2 lakh is not a problem.
2 lakh is not a problem. Friends.
Batudiya ji, I mean, don't take it in otherwise. I mean, as it is a discussion and everybody there.
Of course, sir. Well, let us discuss. Even as I said, I am also asking.
I mean, let's talk logical. I mean, what you feel because of your experience and all. I mean, what people would be taking from you. I mean, your experience and what would be the consequences.
I will tell you both the things. Both the yes, sir.
What prompted her to keep the money in cash instead of depositing in her account?
Exactly, sir. You see,
What prompted her?
because you see this contingency, one of the things, and you see, not you. No, sir. No, sir. You never know. These days, if for an emergency in a hospital, we can go to examples, but 10,000, 20,000 is a small sum, so to say, by hospital standards.
Silence please.
So there may be a lot of reasons to support that why the money was kept idle instead of being invested. That is to support this. There are a lot of cases also, friends. And of course, as the chairman said, that you see this is one side of the coin, because we are arguing from this side of the table. There will of course be arguments from the other side of the table, that no, this is your income, this was not disclosed. I will not agree to the savings theory which you are saying. There will of course be, but friends, if the assessing officer says so, then of course the question under the Income Tax Act will arise, that the onus is on whom? Onus is on whom, friends? Your views? Onus is on SSC. Those who say onus is on SSC, please raise your hands. And those who say onus is on department, I think onus on department hands are more. So now the question is again, friends, this who on whom the onus is? If I am saying this is my theory.
Chairman, please come.
Hello, sir. Sit. Please call.
Sorry.
The friends, onus is on whom? That whatever I am saying is correct or it is a concocted story. Friends, this issue is already a settled issue long back. Sri Lekha Banerjee versus CIT is also a Bengal case. Sri Lekha Banerjee, as you all know, Bengali. Sri Lekha Banerjee versus CIT is a beautiful judgment, friends. It deals with high denomination notes only. And here, friends, the apex court has categorically stated that the onus lies on the SSC first, not on the department. I will read from the judgment of the Supreme Court. This judgment all of you must read if you are going to handle the demonetization cases, either your personal cases or your professional cases. You read this judgment, and this judgment has been applied because it was a 1963 judgment, friends, and almost 49 ITR page 112. 1963. Sri Lekha Banerjee. 49 ITR page 112. This Sri Lekha Banerjee judgment, all of you must read. I again reiterate, it's a beautiful judgment as far as owner's story is concerned. I will read from the judgment, friends, what Supreme Court is saying. The cases involving the encashment of high denomination notes are quite numerous. In some of them, the explanation tendered by the taxpayer has been accepted, and in some it has been rejected. The manner in which evidence brought on behalf of the taxpayer should be viewed has, of course, to be dependent on facts of each case. In those cases in which the SSC proved that he had on the relevant date a large sum of money sufficient to cover the number of notes encashed, the Supreme Court and High Courts, in the absence of something which showed that the SSC held the amount or part of it in, we showed that explanation was inherently improbable, accepted the explanation that the SSC held the amount. What the apex court is saying, if the explanation is inherently improbable, in other words, in such cases, the SSC was held prima facie to have discharged the burden which was upon him. Where the SSC was unable to prove that in his normal business or otherwise he was possessed of so much cash, it was held that the SSC started under a cloud and must dispel that cloud to the reasonable satisfaction of the assessing authorities, and that if it did not, then the department was free to reject the explanation and to hold that the amount represented income from undisclosed sources. Then the next para again, most important. If there is a receipt of an amount in the accounting year, it is incumbent in the first instance upon the SSC to show that it does not bear the character of income. It is incumbent upon the SSC to first show that it is not income. If it fails to do so, the ITO may hold that it represents income of the SSC either from sources he has not disclosed, either from the sources he has disclosed, or from some undisclosed source. And then Supreme Court goes on to say that the very fact that the money was with you, you had deposited this money in your account, so it is you only who can explain the source. How you can say that the assessing officer has to discharge the onus that it is my income? It is incumbent upon you to disclose the source. You are within the knowledge that how you got the money. But it says, again I will read, if the explanation shows that receipt was not of income nature, important friends, the department cannot act unreasonably and reject the explanation to hold that it was income. If however the explanation is unconvincing and the one which deserves to be rejected, the department can reject it and draw the inference that the amount represents income either from sources already disclosed, as I told you, or from some undisclosed source. So this Supreme Court judgment of Sri Lekha Banerjee is the utmost, I think the primary decision which has to be seen insofar as this controversy regarding onus, whether it is your income or it is not your income, has to be seen, friends. It is a direct case on demonetization itself. where the money was exchanged arising out of demonetization. So what the apex court has said in this case, friends, that if you give an explanation to the assessing officer that look, this is my source of money, you cannot say like until this taxation law amendment, this bill came a few days ago, there were theory floating around the country that you can deposit the money in your account and you can show it as your income under section 115 BBE of the Act, and the penalty under section 270A could not have been levied, and therefore you get away by paying 30% of the tax. This is what was being deliberated hotly across the country. And obviously the chartered accountants were put to, I think, put to task. Those who had filed ideas, declarations, the clients came running to them, how you have advised me badly to go for ideas and asked me to pay 45%, whereas now the government has given a 30% scheme. The chartered accountants were once for a while, they had nothing to answer.
But surcharge is also there. Surcharge.
Surcharge may be minor, surcharge is always minor. Though now they have made a surcharge also 25%. So chartered accountants were even once they were taken aback that did I really make a mistake of advising that you make a cash declaration under ideas and pay 45%, whereas you could have very well 115B was there at that time also. So this theory was hotly debated. But friends, prior to when this has been set at rest, but prior to that, this judgment was the answer. Because you see, it is incumbent upon you to disclose the source. If you don't disclose the source, then the Supreme Court says that assessing officer is within its power to treat it as income from the sources already disclosed. If you are disclosing that I am a chartered accountant earning money from professional fees and I deposit money in my bank account by way of cash, then the assessing officer can say that okay, I treat this as your professional income because this is your source of income for last so many years. Or he can say that it is from your undisclosed